Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the most important and foundational topic in criminal law, that is general exceptions under the BNS 2023. This is a chapter 3 of BNS 2023. To understand criminal law properly, it is not enough to know what is an offense is. We must also understand situations where the law deliberately chooses not to punish a person. Criminal law is based on the idea that punishment should be imposed only when there is moral blameworthiness. Therefore, general exceptions exist to ensure that the law does not become rigid or unjust. In simple words, general exceptions protect people who commit an act without criminal intention or under unavoidable circumstances. For example, a doctor performing surgery may technically cause an injury, but the law does not treat this as a crime. Let us now understand what general exception actually mean. General exceptions are provisions which declare that certain acts are not offenses, even though they may appear to satisfy all the ingredients of an offense. Here, the law does not deny the act of occurred. Instead, it excuses the accused from criminal liability because the circumstances justify the act. This distinction is very important. The act remains the same, but liability is removed. For instance, if a person causes harm while acting in self defense, the harm is real, but the law excuses it. The object of general exception is rooted in fairness and justice. If criminals are punished every harmful act mechanically, it would lead to injustice and oppression. General expressions General exceptions recognize that human beings act under pressure, fear, emergencies, and sometimes without understanding the consequences. They ensure that punishment is reserved only for those who deserve it. For example, punishing a person who breaks a door to save a child from fire would be unreasonable. An important legal principle related to general exception is the burden of proof. Initially, the prosecution must prove that the accused committed the offenses. Once this is established, the accuser may claim the benefit of a general exception. The accuser does not need to prove the exception beyond the reasonable doubt. It is enough if the accused proves it is on a balance of probabilities. This shows that the law is fair and does not place an impossible burden on the accused. The next one is incapacity and mistake. Criminal law recognizes that some persons are incapable of forming criminal intent. Children below the age of criminal responsibility are exempted because they lack maturity. Similarly, a person of unsound mind cannot understand the nature or consequences of the act. Mistake of fact is also recognized as a valid defense. However, mistake of law is not excusable. For example, a child causing harm without understanding its impact cannot be punished. The next one, accident, necessity, and good faith. Sometimes harm is caused purely by accident without any criminal intention. Such accidents are exempted under general exemptions. The doctrine of necessity allows a person to cause lesser harm to prevent a greater harm. Good faith plays a crucial role, especially in medical and rescue situations. For instance, breaking a window to rescue someone trapped inside is justified. The next one, private defense. The right of private defense is one of the most important general exceptions. It allows a person to defend life and property against unlawful aggression. This right is preventive, not retaliatory. The force used must be necessary and proportionate. For example, using reasonable force to repel an attacker threatening life is justified. The next exception is act of public servants. Public servants are given protection when they act in good faith during official duties. This ensures that officers can perform their functions without fear of prosecution. However, this prosecution is not absolute. Acts must be within authority and reasonably necessary. For example, police using reasonable force to disperse an unlawful assembly. Limitations of general exceptions. General exceptions are not blanket protections. They do not apply where there is a malice, bad faith, or excessive force. Courts carefully scrutinize facts before granting the benefit of an exception. This ensures that exceptions are not misused. For instance, excessive force in self defense may nullify the defense. To conclude, general exceptions form the moral foundation of criminal law. They ensure that punishment is imposed only when guilt and blameworthiness exist. Under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, general exceptions reflect a human and balanced approach. They prevent criminal law from becoming harsh, mechanical, or unjust. Thus, general exceptions ensure that justice is tempered with reason and humanity. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Do comment. Thank you for watching.